People thought she lived in Paris Hilton's orbit, but she was chasing something bigger. She tasted that drug and felt the rush. She wanted the kind of power that makes $1 million appear overnight. Picture the scene: Fergie, Diddy, Christina Milian, Jaw. Lindsay Lohan owned that era. Paris flips through her stack of old Polaroids. Cameron and Jared tucked into a corner. JC grinning beside Nick. Michael drifting through the frame. Paris wrapped up with Jack Osborne. And those wild Gwen-inspired nights. And when the new files hit the tabloids, Paris makes one thing clear: she isn't going down by herself. Paris Hilton decides she is taking everyone down with her, and the first person she aims at is Kim Kardashian. They were tight for years, but their past looks a lot darker than the cute selfies and shopping trips ever suggested. Paris starts dropping claims about both of them being on Epstein's island, sometimes as guests and other times as the so-called party favors. Kim is described as taking things further because she believed it would fast-track her rise to fame. People start debating who is lying and why Paris is speaking now, especially as the old tape resurfaces and creates new legal trouble between Kim and Ray J. The latest document drop wasn't mild. It dropped names, timelines, travel logs, and details that sent the internet into absolute overload. Paris Hilton's name showing up in that release set off a chain reaction. People had already been whispering for years about her family's proximity to powerful men, and online conversations about Rick Hilton had been circulating long before this leak. Virginia Giuffre's past statements about the figures around Epstein added more fuel. Rick's reputation for climbing social ladders only made the public dig harder. And once Paris's name resurfaced, the internet started connecting dots at high speed. Paris didn't stay quiet. She immediately turned her attention toward Kim Kardashian, and that's when people started comparing their backgrounds. Both women grew up in elite circles. Both had families who moved among the same high-profile men. Both were young, visible, and present in the kinds of spaces Epstein's network targeted, according to long-standing public discussion. Then came the part that pushed the conversation into a new gear. The files reportedly include videos placing Paris at certain parties, and several women seen in those clips have resurfaced, demanding justice. Some are now calling for President Trump to release every remaining document without redactions. The spotlight should have stayed on the victims, but the conversation swerved fast. Suddenly, the entire scandal was pinned on Paris, as if she alone carried the whole thing. That shift is what reportedly pushed her over the edge. People close to her say she can't understand why she's being dragged, while Kim Kardashian escapes the same level of scrutiny, even though their paths overlap in plenty of ways. That double standard is what finally pushed Paris to start talking. She's done holding the weight while Kim floats untouched, pretending she was never part of those circles. But here's the thing. It isn't surprising that Paris went after Kim first. Their history has always looked lopsided, and plenty of people online argue that Kim used her connection to Paris as a way into powerful circles. Paris, meanwhile, was pushed into that world young. A source interviewed in the documentary Surviving Jeffrey Epstein even claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell showed interest in Paris when she was 19, calling her perfect for Jeffrey.
I said, "Oh my God, who's that?" And my friend said, "Yeah, she's called Paris Hilton." And Ghislaine said, "Oh, God, she'd be perfect for Jeffrey. Could you introduce us?"
Paris has publicly denied knowing Ghislaine, though photos of them at events have fueled years of speculation. What is clear is that Paris spent time around people later linked to Epstein, including photographer Rachel Chandler, and she was often partying hard during that era, which many believe made her vulnerable. Kim, on the other hand, entered the scene as Paris's stylist, but anyone watching their dynamic back then could see Kim had bigger ambitions and was determined to climb far past Paris. People online love to point out that Kim Kardashian was always somewhere in the frame during Paris Hilton's peak. In almost every old paparazzi shot, you can spot her in the background.
Very nice, very nice.
Following Paris from party to party, trying to slide into photos, trying to blend into Paris's circle of celebrities. Viewers looking back at those images often joke, who's the dark-haired girl trying to get in the shot? Oh, Kim. Because back then, Kim was Paris's stylist, assistant, and constant shadow. Anytime Paris needed cameras or attention, Kim was the one she told to send the texts, make the calls, gather the crowd. People on social media claim Kim didn't just follow Paris, she studied her. They say she watched Paris navigate scandals and fame and copied the blueprint. Paris has spoken openly about being manipulated and intoxicated during the events that led to her tape becoming public, and she has said she barely understood what was happening. Online commentators contrast that with Kim's situation, alleging that she and her mother were involved in the planning, the contracts, even the final edit. Whether people believe that or not, the comparison follows both women everywhere. And that's why, in online discussions, the idea that Kim would refuse an invitation to powerful circles never fits the narrative. Commentators argue she chased every opportunity, no matter how risky, and that she held on to Paris as a stepping stone. Now, years later, their paths have split. Kim is distancing herself from old connections, while Paris is once again watching her past get dissected under a microscope. That tension alone has fueled endless speculation. Things escalated further when Kim shifted into legal defense mode. The moment talk of her name appearing in sensitive documents started trending online, she pivoted fast. Lawsuits started flying. One of the biggest targets was Ray J, the one person the internet thinks holds every secret from that era. When a viral clip circulated of Ray J suggesting federal investigators were looking into Kim and Chris.
This federal RICO though, on AK and Chris. Ooh, the federal RICO I'm about to drop on Chris.
People online tied that comment to every rumor swirling around. None of it was verified, but the internet ran wild with it. At the same time, old chatter resurfaced about Paris being linked to wild party scenes with other young stars. And predictably, people began drawing parallels and claiming Kim had copied that path too. When Diddy's name hit the news during his investigation, Kim started trending again simply because the internet connects everything to everything. The loops, theories, and comparisons keep feeding themselves, and none of it seems to be slowing down. Online chatter exploded when people began claiming Kim had been quietly cleaning up anything that could tie her to Diddy. Online chatter claims she wiped files, shut down accounts, and cleaned up anything that could raise questions. Her family's church was pulled into the conversation too. With many arguing, it acted as a cover for things that didn't look clean. None of this was proven, but the speculation spread fast. So when Ray J's live stream rant started gaining traction, the internet convinced itself that he was getting too close to something real. Then he fired back with a countersuit, calling Kim's legal action a PR stunt. That move had everyone asking what contract he meant and whether an NDA existed that tied back to deeper secrets. Meanwhile, Paris resurfaced with her own accusations and comments, which pushed the narrative into even messier territory. People online claim Paris was hinting that Kim wasn't just involved, but possibly worse than her. And instantly, fans began predicting Kim would respond with another lawsuit. The problem is that Paris isn't someone Kim can easily silence. Their relationship may look friendly again on the surface, but insiders insist there's tension beneath it. Paris has history, pictures, moments, and stories that could cause serious fallout if they ever became public. While Kim presents herself as the perfect mom, business mogul, and aspiring attorney, the online rumor mill insists she's also preparing for the possibility that the Epstein conversation could swing in her direction. What keeps resurfacing is the talk about an FBI investigation that never fully disappeared. It simply got quieter. And people who follow federal cases know silence usually means something is happening behind the scenes, not that a case has died. What makes things even louder is how Kim has been moving. She's been stepping away from Paris again, cutting ties that might pull her into old circles and ignoring anything connected to Diddy. The public sees every move as reactive, not proactive. Before this, Kim could bury a story with a quick call. Now every shift appears tied to something she doesn't want exposed. People online say Paris is now cooperating with investigators, sparking talk of a hidden folder with Kim's name on it. True or not, Kim's silence stands out. Each time Paris speaks, Kim retreats, like she's bracing for whatever drops next.